More rain. Saturday snow can still mix in at times before noon. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now it's 45.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw, with their newly expanded showroom where you'll find new product lines, too, including countertops, like they will have, for example, quartz granite countertops for you. Anything you need for home decorating, you're going to find it at Westside Decorating Center. Later on, we'll talk about your health after the 10 o'clock news with someone from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. We'll have Rocket Grab Plus on focus today, but we're going to begin this hour talking about Shelterhouse in Midland. And we have a number of guests to chat with this morning. So let me introduce them to you. First of all, we say good morning to Alison Baldree. Alison, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Thank you for having us today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Also with us this morning is Denise Berry. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning, Art. Thank you for having us.
Sure. Your microphone's a little weak, Denise, so get a little closer if you can. All right. So let's talk, first of all, what each of you do. Alison, what do you do with Shelterhouse Midland?
So the way I like to phrase it is I teach people the joy of giving, and I help tell our story.
And then we move to Denise. What's your role?
So I'm the executive director of Shelterhouse. So it's my job to make sure that our team has the resources they need to serve survivors.
So let's talk about Shelterhouse, what it is and what it does before we get into Restaurant Week and all of those things. Give us an overview of it.
Sure. So Shelterhouse is a comprehensive domestic violence and sexual assault services agency and shelter. We've been around since it started in 1976 when volunteers were taking victims or survivors of domestic violence into their homes to provide them safe shelter. And then in 1980, around or so, they built the first. They purchased a home for the first shelter. And then we expanded to Gladwin County in the early 80s. And then we just continued to bring in new programs. And we were fortunate enough, and it's hard to believe it's been 3 years now. We were fortunate enough to move into a new building on Waldo Avenue, which is it's got a 48-bed capacity, so it has a considerably larger shelter capacity than the old house on Isabella had on M20. And the way the shelter is set up, it's non-communal living. So we've been very fortunate in that we were very safe during the height of COVID. And then also our shelter is a more welcoming experience for self-determination and the ability to live autonomously, and also safe for the LGBT community.
So how many people do you serve?
We serve a little over 1,000 people a year generally, and then and that's just with our residential and our non-residential services. We also field approximately 5,000 crisis calls per year.
So if someone comes to stay in your facility, how long can they stay with you?
Sure. So there's no set time frame. The goal is to, when someone comes in, is to help them transition into the next part of their life, find their safety. Again, we're all about self-determination and empowerment. And so 60 days is a goal that we work with the client when they come in and their family members. We've had people stay less than that. We've had people stay more than that. So we really try to, that's kind of the number, we try to stick around, but it doesn't always happen.
So Alison, one of the things this facility, like every other, needs is funding. And Restaurant Week is one of those ways. So tell us what Restaurant Week is all about.
Oh, I'm so excited, Art. Thank you for asking. So this is the second year that we're having a restaurant week, Shelterhouse Midland Restaurant Week, April 22nd through 29th. And we have a couple of goals with this event. So one is to empower survivors. That's, core to our mission. And with this event, we have over 37 restaurants throughout town who are taking part and going to be engaging their customers in conversations about Shelterhouse. They're going to be having specials and deals like purple cupcakes or purple lattes and different fun things. That's one of our colors, purple and teal. And really addressing that domestic violence and sexual assault, it does exist in our community, and providing that spark of hope for people while engaging our community and letting them know that they are not alone, that, asking for help can absolutely be your greatest strength, and that all of the critical services that are free and confidential and provided by Shelterhouse, they're dependent on the community support. So goal number one is empower survivors. Goal number two is to infuse economic empowerment into our community. So that's a unique feature of this event. Is it's not, the traditional a gathering of a fundraising event. This is really infused throughout the community over the time period, April 22nd through 29th. And we want this to also be a symbiotic relationship with the restaurant. So people are going there and they're spending money and at the local businesses, and they're buying coffees, they're going out to dinner with friends, they're having a team meeting lunch out at a restaurant, and they're engaging the local community in that way. But they support us so much, we wanted to kind of go back and forth as well. And then sorry, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, do the restaurants kick in a portion of sales? How do you derive funds out of this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a couple different ways, Art. One is we have several businesses who have sponsored us and sponsored the event, like Dow, Corteva, Michael and Gavin Associates, and then Lisa and Howard Ungerleider, just to name a few. So we have sponsorship. Also, a lot of the restaurants will be doing some specials and giving back like $1 of every drip coffee at a coffee shop or different elements like that. And then our clients are decorating donation boxes. It's a radio, so it's hard to show you, but if anyone on camera can see, it's blotted out, but we have hand decorated donation boxes from our clients that we'll have at locations. And then, of course, anyone who's already on our mailing list, you're going to get a letter in the mail with requests that you invest in our services.
So just out of curiosity, Denise, how big a budget? What does it take to operate Shelterhouse in Midland?
About $3.5 million.
Hang on a minute. I turned you down a little bit. Hang on. Go ahead.
So our current budget is about $3.5 million for the level of services we provide right now.
Any of that government funding, or are you on your own?
So our average government funding is about 60%. And I'm actually really glad that you asked this question, because we are actually facing a potential shortfall in our government funding allocations coming up. And I was actually fortunate enough to have the opportunity to testify this week at the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee for DHHS about this problem.
Given all the federal money that was floating around during the pandemic, you would think it would be just the opposite, that you wouldn't face a shortfall right now. Is this post-pandemic now, or they're looking to pull back?
Sure. Well, so the money that came out in the ARPA funds, there was some money there, and then what was the CARES Act? So we do still receive a little bit of that, but I want to say that the total is less than $100,000 a year. And of course that money ends, I believe it's this fiscal year. But the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand on how grants work, the money comes, but then it comes with a list of restrictions on how you can use it and what you can purchase with it. And so sometimes it's a square peg fitting in a round hole, right? And so it doesn't necessarily match the needs of the people who walk through our doors. And so we do the best we can with what we've got. We're grateful, very grateful that we have these funds to do these different things. But sometimes those aren't the funds we need.
Right. Got to take a break, so hang on and we'll come back for another segment as we talk about Shelterhouse of Midland. And let me take a moment to talk to you about McDonald Ford in Freeland, owned by the McDonald family, Tom McDonald Jr. and his son, Tom III. As the name implies, they're a Ford dealer. Well, it's called McDonald Ford. What would you expect? Of course, they're a Ford dealer. However, Tom Jr. wants you to know there are a lot more than just a Ford dealer because they have all kinds of vehicles on their pre-owned lot. You'll find Chevys and Cadillacs, Jeeps, Lincolns. I've seen Audis. I've seen Mercedes-Benz. You name it, you'll find it there. And, of course, all of them have been through an extensive 100-point inspection program so that you drive with confidence when you drive one of those pre-owned vehicles off the lot. If you have a problem, though, McDonald Ford Service Department is ready to help you with minor or major repairs. And if you have a body problem, Drive Collision is there to help with your body repairs, and Quick Lane Center for quick oil changes. It's all waiting for you. It's the complete dealership, McDonald Ford in Freeland, and they are also a community player. And let me explain what I mean by that. Recently, McDonald Ford paid off the Freeland High School library debt. Paid it off. That's what the dealership did. It's a family thing with McDonald. The McDonald family, and I've known them for, 4 or 5 decades now, as long as I've been here. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. They are devoted to helping and serving you.
Paid for by government.com.
The 1878 to 1921 Morgan silver dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It's been 100 years since the last Morgan silver dollar coin was struck for circulation. And now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government struck Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right. You can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan silver dollar coins, all in very good collector condition, with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-914-4635 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan silver dollars by the pound, struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack valued at over $25, free with every order. Call 1-800-914-4635 now to secure your full pound bag of Morgan silver dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-914-4635. That's 1-800-914-4635.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Not much change in the tight labor market in the latest reading. There were 191,000 new claims for unemployment benefits last week, down 1,000 from the week before. Continuing claims, those still receiving benefits, rose by 14,000 to 1.6 million. Interest rates are going up around the world to fight inflation despite selective bank turmoil. Yesterday, the Fed raised short-term interest rates by 0.25%. Today, the Bank of England also raised interest rates by 0.25%. The Swiss National Bank raised rates by 0.5%. Ford says its electric vehicle unit will lose $3 billion this year, though it expects the business to make a profit in the next 3 years. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Is your home's title still in your name? Home Title Lock's free lookup service can make sure it is. Your home's title is online, where thieves can forge your signature, take out loans against it, or even sell it. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs don't protect you. Home Title Lock does. Verify your home is still in your name with Home Title Lock's free lookup service and register your address for 30 free days of protection at HometitleLock.com/free. HometitleLock.com/free.
This is a test. WSGW is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. WSGW serves Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. The WSGW Morning Team.
WSW Online poll is Detroit Tigers Baseball 2023 predictions for the 56th year. WSGW, your home for the Tigers. Last year, disappointing. Key regulars falling short of expectations, numerous injuries. Heading into this season, some signings of new players, but no big free agent signings. Tigers are counting on players to perform, to stay healthy, and who knows, maybe Miguel Cabrera has his spectacular final season and sparks the team. Poll question for you. How do you predict the Tigers will finish 2023? Will the Tigers finish below 500, 500 or better, but not make the playoffs? Or will the Tigers make the playoffs? 3 options for you. Choose the one that fits your prediction, please. Tigers baseball all season long on WSGW. Head to the online poll box by going to WSGW.com and scrolling down the homepage and vote that way.
Do you know how you will vote?
I'm an optimist, but I need a couple of more days.
Okay.
Your morning team, Charlie, Denise, and Pat, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. We're talking about Shelterhouse in Midland, and we're doing that with Denise Berry, who's the executive director, and our development person, Alison Baldree, is with us this morning. Well, let me ask Denise about the role of Dr. Lydia Watson. I see her name in a press release here. Been involved with the shelter for a while. Tell us about Dr. Watson.
Sure. So Dr. Watson is going to be our honorary chair for Midland Restaurant Week this year. She has like you said, a long history of serving with Shelterhouse. She was the one who was instrumental in starting our SANE, our Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner Forensic Exam program. And she's also served on our board for, I believe, 6 years prior to me coming as executive director. She's been an advocate for women's health for probably most of her life, as long as I've known her to be in the community. And we are so excited to have her as our honorary chair this year.
How serious a problem are we talking about? With all the publicity sexual assault has gotten over the last decade or two, is it still a crisis situation?
The last stats I looked at was over 50% of women and 1 in 3 men will experience sexual assault in their lifetime, in some form of sexual assault. And one of the things that makes this so dangerous is that we know that at least 62% of sexual assaults go unreported. So the numbers I'm telling you are only of people who come forward. We have no idea what the real number might be.
I, in conversation yesterday with someone who was a victim at a very young age and is now in senior years, told me the scars stay. They don't go away. And I was a little surprised because of the time differential. But apparently these scars are pretty permanent, aren't they?
For sure. There's a book, The Body Keeps the Score, and the title is apt because when something happens, especially in childhood, it stays with you. So you can learn different coping mechanisms and tools and go through different kinds of therapy to mitigate the responses and the potential adverse reactions to it. But the trauma is there, and it always will be. But we can just do our best to walk through it and to heal and to come out on the other side. We'll still be different than we were when we started, but it doesn't mean we have to be less than.
Alison, it's back to Restaurant Week. When does it start? How long does it run?
It starts on April 22nd. So it runs a Saturday to Saturday, ending on April 29th.
So if someone wants to participate, what do? Just go eat out? That's really all it takes, really?
Well, they can go to MidlandRestaurantWeek.com and they can see the list of the 37 participating restaurants who are taking part. And there's actually going to be a couple micro events throughout town as well. So we're encouraging people, call that friend that you haven't spoken with in a while and ask them up to lunch, check in with them, have a conversation, go out with a sister or a brother or family member and have a meal with them. But then also there's going to be an empowered yoga flow class in here at Ally Group Fitness, Midland High School. The exact time and details are being worked out, but we're going to have a walk a mile event on Sunday of Restaurant Week. So, looking forward to some gorgeous spring days. So we'll be able to get together and walk outside and bring awareness. And then there's going to be a couple events throughout the week, like sip and shops at a couple local boutiques where you'll be able to meet members of the counseling team.
And I noticed in the list of restaurants, there's everything from soup to nuts, from a cookie company to Grazie and Cafe Zinc and everything in between, and bars.
Yeah.
It covers a pretty big gamut, doesn't it? It covers everything.
I know, you got to bring your stretchy pants for this. And if you go to 8 restaurants or more, we actually have dining passports. And this is really fun, Art. So when you go to over 8 participating restaurants during Restaurant Week and get your passport stamp, you'll be able to turn that in and be entered to win a night at a Loons game in a suite. Huntington Bank donated their suite. So you can go there with 30 people, I believe is the capacity of it, and have snacks and watch a baseball game in July. So that's the big grand prize for going out to 8 restaurants supporting a good cause.
So where do you pick up your passport to participate?
You can pick it up at participating restaurants, but also it's going to be available for download at MidlandRestaurantWeek.com. There'll also be links on our social media at Midland Restaurant Week as well.
All right, so Denise, as we leave this discussion, what do you want people to know about Shelterhouse?
I want them to know, Alison touched on it earlier, is making that call for help can be a person's greatest strength. And I want them to know that we're here for them. Again, we serve survivors of all ages, all genders, all sexual orientations, we serve everyone. We don't turn people away. We're proud of the fact that we're inclusive and diverse. And we're proud of the fact that, we have a team of non-judgmental professionals who are trauma-informed, survivor-centered, and intersectional.
So let's talk about that victim for a second. Who did they call first? You? 911? What's the proper protocol?
So if they've experienced domestic violence or sexual assault and they're ready to ask for help, if it's in the course of it's happening right now and it's an emergency, of course, call 911. There's several ways you can get a hold of us. We have a crisis helpline, so you can call by phone. That would be 877-216-6383. If you don't feel comfortable talking on the phone, or you might be in a situation where you just physically can't because an assailant might be close by, you can text us at 989-200-5122. Or if neither of those options work for you, you can also start a web chat with us just by going into info@shelterhousemidland.org and clicking on our website. So there's several different ways. You could also just walk into our shelter as well.
And again, the website for the restaurant week?
MidlandRestaurantWeek.com.
That's easy. All right. Well, thank both of you for being with us today. And I'm sure we'll talk more about Shelterhouse down the road. Good luck with Restaurant Week.
Thanks
Thank you so much, Art.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now. That's a couple of folks from Shelterhouse. That's Denise Berry, who is the executive director, and Alison Baldree, who's kind of the development person spearheading the Restaurant Week fundraising event for Shelterhouse of Midland. We'll take a break and we'll have open phones for the remainder of this hour. Give us a call, 989-752-6111.
When you choose Garber for your next vehicle, you're also joining the effort to make things better in the Great Lakes Bay region by supporting important organizations like the Boys and Girls Clubs. CEO Julie Villano, helping kids right now means better adults down the road. So what's the secret to making that happen?
It's the individualized attention that we can give to the kids and take the time with them to try to get to know them and get to know the things that maybe they are in need of that other people don't have the time to sit down and do. And then to be able to watch them grow and to solve some problems that they have is something that's dear to my heart.
And there's no doubt, Julie, that the Garber organization really believes in what the Boys and Girls Clubs do.
The Garber family is a great sponsor for us, and they help us with our golf outing and our night to remember, which is a special night for the kids to be at. We also have one of their employees that sits on our board, and he is very active in our community and with us.
And with the low price guarantee, choosing Garber won't cost you a penny more.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Pizza Dude in Pinconning. You're going to get a $20 gift certificate for only $10. Family owned and located in downtown Pinconning, Pizza Dude's mission is to combine gourmet flavors with the perfect balance of indulgence and nutrition. Make sure to ask about their monster pizzas that are 2 feet wide. Half off? Yeah, it's true. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell. Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Is your home's title still in your name? Home Title Lock's free lookup service can make sure it is. Your home's title is online, where thieves can forge your signature, take out loans against it, or even sell it. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs don't protect you. Home Title Lock does. Verify your home is still in your name with Home Title Lock's free lookup service and register your address for 30 free days of protection at HomeTitleLock.com/free. HomeTitleLock.com/free.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text safeguard to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. Open phones right up till the top of the hour at 989-752-6111. If you missed the announcement this morning, General Motors has said the Chevrolet Camaro, one of the dream cars of many Americans over the years, is going out of production. 2024 will be the last one. They'll have some kind of a special edition package on their Z1C. For years, I looked at Camaro as the sort of the poor man's Corvette. But in recent times, it's kind of come into its own. It's a sharp-looking car and plenty of power. But the sales have dipped drastically. In 2016, GM sold over 72,000 of them. By the end of 2021, it was down to 28,800 and some. Rebounded last year a little bit to 24,000, but still way down from what it was. So GM said the 2024 model year will come off the Lansing assembly line in January, and that'll be the end of it. They do say that the name will not go away, at least not long term. you have to remember that whatever generation of Camaro may follow, which would be the 7th generation of the brand, will more than likely be electric, because General Motors has said they want to be all electric by 2035, if I'm not mistaken. And they have said that if between 2030 or 2040 there's a mixed combustion and battery fleet, some of the gas-powered muscle cars could survive. This is not the only one to disappear. Stellantis said Dodge is Demon, their SRT Demon something, I forgot all the numbers on it, is going away. The last one will be produced with over 1,000 horsepower out of a V8 engine and 0 to 60 times of 1.66 seconds. That, if you want to put it in relationship to the cars of the world, is faster than almost any supercar you can buy. Certainly, Ferrari does not have a 1.66 second car. Lamborghini, Pagani, Bugatti, you name it. They're all very, 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 very fast, because there's nothing slow about 2.5 seconds, 60 miles an hour. But 1.66 seconds is being shot out of a rocket. It's even faster than Tesla, which has no lag. When you step on the gas, you're gone right now. What would you do with a 1,000 horsepower car on the street? There is in the supercar world, there has been a horsepower race for a long time. Some of the cars getting up to 1,600 horsepower. But you're paying hundreds of thousands, if not millions, for some of them. Where the domestic vehicles like the Dodge, the Camaro, you can get for a reasonable price relative to what supercar prices are. Expensive for American car prices, but relative to the supercar world, they're relatively inexpensive. You know, if you spend $100,000 on an American supercar that outperforms the $500,000 or $1 million supercars, you got yourself a deal, if speed is your thing. Of course, where can you use it? I mean, we don't have nearly the many drag strips we used to have, where you could on a Sunday go down to the drag strip and have some fun for the day with your car if you didn't break something. But I don't know. You know, the EV future, we've talked about this a lot, I know, but it's upon us. I mean, whether we want it or not, between government and the manufacturers, they're going to be shoving it down our throats. I think there is still a market for combustion-powered cars. And that I mentioned that I was at an economic club meeting on Monday, and there were 3 folks, one from consumers, one from Dow, one from Ford. And I asked the Ford representative, who was pretty much in the EV development world, I said, you know, what do you tell gas heads like myself who may want to still have that combustion engine car 30 years down the road? I won't be around 30 years down the road probably, but, you know, what do you tell the folks that are gas heads and still want the combustion engine? And he said, in all honesty, he did not see the combustion engine going away anytime soon. He said it's going to be around quite a while. So you'll still have the opportunity to buy a gasser. To me, and I've said this before, to me, the ideal vehicle, is a hybrid that has an electric drive system comparable to the electric drive systems of the electric cars today, where you get 250, 300-mile range, and maybe that'll get better as the batteries get better. But you have a backup generator on board so that if you go beyond the range of the vehicle, you still have the ability to drive and get off the road and get to a charging station if you have to. To me, that to me is the ideal situation, because then there's something called range anxiety. When you worry about taking your electric car too far and running out of juice and having to get towed. And I told the Ford guy, I said, if you're going to talk to me about EVs, then you tell me you've got a battery that'll do 500 miles. And the consumer guy, who has electric vehicles, has had 4 of them, and that's all he drives, said that's range anxiety. And he said, particularly as more and more charging stations come online, and they're fast charging stations, that anxiety is misplaced. It goes away because you'll be able to charge up. You go into a grocery store for shopping, and they'll have a charging station where for 10 or 15 minutes, you can get most of your charge back in your car while you're inside shopping. That day's not here yet. It's coming, because they're going to be charging stations everywhere. I kind of view this electric market in the same way that I'm sure people at the turn of the 20th century, 1900, viewed the gas buggy. Here were gasoline-powered cars just coming into their own, just in their infancy. Well, you didn't have a gas station on every corner. You had to carry gas with you in cans until the infrastructure was built to where it is today, where there's a gas station on every other corner. And I think we're at the same point with electric vehicles. We will eventually turn that corner. We will see infrastructure. Every gas station will probably have electric charging. Parking lots, supermarkets, places like that will have electric charging. Restaurants, clubs, you name it. You're going to find charging stations almost everywhere. Eventually. Day's not here yet, though. We'll take a break. Come back, lines open for you.
M&R Garage Door wants to invite everyone who missed them at the Saginaw Home and Garden Show to stop by their showroom to see what's new with garage doors. M&R wants to remind you that home experts agree that replacing your old garage door with an M&R door can instantly transform the look and curb appeal of your home more than any other exterior improvement. M&R can professionally install your garage door and opener. M&R has trained staff to stand behind and warranty their work. Call 894-0971. M&R Garage Door. Service is their specialty.
Attention, Michigan Medicaid members and those using food assistance programs. Federal changes could affect your program benefits and coverage. Learn what the changes are and what they mean for you at michigan.gov/2023 benefit changes. That's michigan.gov/2023 benefit changes. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text safeguard to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's been tough talking to my doctor about constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. I finally laid all my symptoms out there and how they keep coming back. She said I may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. We agreed it's time to try something different.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Visit a doctor in person or online. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Is your prostate secretly being destroyed without you knowing it? All the ads for these prostate pills like Super Beta Prostate, Saw Palmetto, ProstaStream, Prostagenics, and others. Want to know which pills work and which are garbage? Now you can. Get a free copy of the new guide, Prostate Secrets, that pulls back the curtain on the prostate pill industry. Learn what is really in these pills. Which pill has over 987 adverse event reports filed against it with the FDA? It's shocking. Learn the one food to avoid that is a prostate killer, and discover the 3 so-called health foods that destroy your prostate. Get your free copy at prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com. This free guide will show you how to end your prostate problems without drugs or surgery, 5 important things to do to protect your prostate, and much more. Warning, this guide is controversial and may be offensive to some readers as it pulls no punches. So go to prostatesecrets.com, prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to a business of your choice. It's the WSGW Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Enter online at WSGW.com. When you enter, you choose the business you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you're drawn as the winner. Businesses include Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Bay Landscaping, M&R Garage Door and Openers, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Midland Sand Company, The Tech Laboratory, All Seasons Heating and Cooling, Delta Door Sales, Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, Roof Max, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Cranes L&M Appliance, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Westside Decorating Center, Big Ick Nursery and Garden Center, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, Bonifant Cabinetry, Woolfiles Ace Hardware. The Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Deadline to enter is March 24th. Enter online at WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. And let's go to our phones this morning, and we'll say hi to Jamie, who's up in Linwood. Jamie, good morning.
Hi, Art. Can you hear me all right?
I got you fine.
Okay, good. Hey, how you doing, bud?
Doing all right.
Hey, I wanted to comment on the electric vehicle thing. I just turned you on, heard you commenting on that. Sure. And I got to kind of agree with your stance a little bit. I don't have an electric vehicle. I got 2 fairly new cars. I'm not sure if I'll ever get an electric vehicle, maybe, but I think they are the way of the future. The way they make use of energy. I mean, they're much more efficient than a gasoline car. They put all the power into the wheels instead of heat. I do think that where I have a problem, where I'm a little nervous, is our generating capability all over the country. I'm not sure we have enough generating capability to do this. Now, will they build new plants? I got to assume they will, but I just don't see a lot of that happening.
Let me give you the answer the consumers gave me, because there was a consumer guy on the panel. He claims that right now, if you look at the EV marketplace, 90% of the charging happens overnight when their demand is lowest and the cost is lowest.
That's good. Yeah.
And and he really indicated that's what the future is, that the majority of people will charge at night in their garages or wherever they have their charging station. And when you go out during the day, if you're taking long trips or you need to recharge, you'll have to do that someplace. But he does not expect that demand to be the bulk of the demand. He expects the overnight demand, when they have plenty of surplus, to be when these vehicles will be charged. Now, and of course, the other side of that drives that is the fact that it costs you less to charge your car at night because their rates are significantly lower during the night than they would be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, for example. So,
you know, and the cost of charging your car is way less than gasoline.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good. I mean, is the payback, you know, going to be there for the cost of the electric vehicle? I haven't really looked at the numbers, but I got to imagine if you keep it long enough and gas stays $3, $4, $5, $6 a gallon, it's going to be worth it.
He gave us figures. He gave us figures that if you charged a car overnight, for example, one of the electrics, average out about 4 cents compared to 14 cents for gas per mile.
So or less than a third.
And that was assuming $3.50 a gallon gas.
Yeah.
So it was
Who knows?
It was less. There's no doubt. Listen, I'm not denying that there are advantages to electric cars. Their acceleration, their response, the lack of pollution, all of that, I understand is a positive. I'm range sensitive, though. I want a battery, and the Ford guy said that those batteries are coming where you'll get 400 or 500 miles.
Yeah,
then I might be interested.
Yeah, you know, I would always want, you know, because I drive to Florida. I drive, you know, I need something.
Yeah, you want something that's going to get you distance.
You think about, but I think about probably half the people in this country, at least half the people, they never drive more than 100 miles a day.
That's true.
They're not going to need a charging station.
That's true. That's true. Hey, Jamie, I got to interrupt because I'm out of time for this hour, but I appreciate the call. We'll do it again. Thanks.
Yep.
Take care. Bye-bye now. We'll be back to close out this hour.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
One of my wildfire coworkers contacted me after 5 p.m. one day. She was working with a member in a rush to meet with the seller of a vehicle she wanted to purchase. I double-checked her loan application right then. I emailed it out to her while she was on her way to the branch so that she could sign electronically. We had her check ready for her when she arrived by 6 p.m. Teamwork makes the dream work. For our member, the dream was finding a car, applying for a loan, and buying it in one day. And the Wildfire team made it work.
Saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. That's Wildfire Credit Union. Find out for yourself. Call, click, or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell. Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Steve, what is that?
My new car.
It looks expensive.
Honey, that's why I'm taking it to Paintbull for rust proofing, graphene coating, maybe even some paint film.
Paintbull? You'll find any reason to go to Paintbull.
Well, I want this car to last and to look good, so I look good driving it.
You mean so I look good driving it?
What?
Gotta go.
Keep your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
All right, we'll take a break for news, and then we will be back with more, and we'll talk about the HPV virus when we return.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Paul Gauguin Cruises.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The CEO of TikTok is about to go toe-to-toe with lawmakers on Capitol Hill who want the video sharing app banned.
We don't want this data in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party, period.
Republican Kelly Armstrong among representatives worried about spying. Democrat Lisa Blunt Rochester doesn't think the app is a bad thing.
I've got nieces. I've got nephews. I know
incredible content creators that are out there.
Age might be a factor in how you feel about TikTok. Deputy Director of Surveys Jennifer DePinto has results of our new CBS News poll.
6 in 10 of those familiar with TikTok favor a ban, but younger people, who are the most likely age group to use TikTok, are also the most opposed to a ban, or it's the idea that TikTok is a national security risk.
The number of anti-Semitic incidents continues to rise. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Anti-Semitic incidents are up 36% nationwide. They include assault, harassment, and vandalism. These numbers are from the Anti-Defamation League, which says they mark the highest number of incidents on record since the group began keeping an annual tally in 1979.
A federal judge has ordered one of former President Trump's attorneys to testify about the handling of classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
What makes this very significant is that a court is ordering an attorney to break the attorney-client privilege he has with his client. That's pretty sacred stuff in the legal system. And in this case, the client is a former president of the United States.
Still no word on an indictment from a New York jury investigating alleged hush money paid to Stormy Daniels. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has visited the Kherson region a day after he toured the devastated city of Bakhmut amid new Russian bombings that destroyed apartment buildings south of Kyiv. This man spoke through an interpreter.
I felt the temperature of my body going up so much that I thought I would burn alive.
Western diplomats warning slow U.S. weapons deliveries are denying Ukrainian troops the strength they need to fend off new Russian onslaughts. The Biden administration says it'll revamp the transplant system to cut down on wait times for vital organs. CBS's Matt Piper.
While about 43,000 organ transplants were performed last year, doctors say it still is not enough to meet the demand, as more than 100,000 people are on the national transplant list. But there's been one nonprofit, United Network for Organ Sharing, that's run the list for about 40 years. Now the federal government says it will end that monopoly.
The Dow up 240 points. This is CBS News.
CBS News is brought to you by Paul Gauguin Cruises. Artfully authentic, all-inclusive year-round cruising to Tahiti and the South Pacific. Visit pgcruises.com today.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners, it's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, quick and easy. And soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too. The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 43 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A man was arrested Tuesday after allegedly threatening students with a knife in Bay City Western High School parking lot. Authorities say the man and his girlfriend were arguing in a vehicle parked outside the school when the man threw something out the window. According to the Bay County Sheriff's Department, a group of nearby teens then threw a water bottle at the vehicle when the man got out with a pocket knife and threatened them. The students returned to the school building and identified the man to the school resource officer, Deputy Zach Zerka, who found the man had left school grounds. Zerka later arrested the man at his residence nearby. The sheriff's department says the incident was isolated to the parking lot and there was no threat to the school or any other students. Charges are being pursued. The online auction for the Midland Mall has been rescheduled for later this month. Originally scheduled for the beginning of this week, the sale will now take place during next week, with bidding starting at noon on Tuesday, March 28th, and running until 1:30 p.m. Thursday, March 30th. The starting bid remains at $1.5 million. The auction is being held at rimarketplace.com. The Bay Area Women's Center is hosting its 11th annual Wildly Gourmet Dinner and Wine Tasting April 12th at the DoubleTree Hotel in Bay City. The fundraiser supports the work of the center, whose mission is to eliminate sexual and domestic violence in the community. All services provided to survivors are always free of charge. The event will feature a 5-course meal prepared by local chefs, with each course paired with wine from Soul Squeeze Cellars in Lake Leelanau. The dinner also features a silent auction starting April 7th at 5 p.m. and closing on April 12th at 8 p.m. Doors to the event open at 5:30. Individual tickets are $75 and can be purchased at bawc-mi.org/dinner. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Now through April 10th, you can save big with generous rebates on energy-efficient shades that help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings event going on now. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
The Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, in collaboration with the Second Baptist Church and the Bay County chapter of the NAACP, invite you to attend the Spring Fling Health Fair, March 23rd at the Second Baptist Church in Bay City from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. The first 50 COVID-19 booster recipients will receive a $25 gift card, TV giveaways, free food, HIV screenings, and more. Don't forget your COVID-19 vaccine card. March 23rd, Spring Fling Health Fair. Everyone 12 and older are welcome.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Perhaps the most well-known lawyer in the state of Michigan, Jeffrey Fieger, and one-time candidate for governor of Michigan, has suffered a stroke. His wife, Keeney, released a statement saying March 1st, Fieger had an elective procedure for a minor heart arrhythmia. Afterward, they determined he suffered the stroke. James Harrington, vice president and managing partner at Fieger Law, said he spoke to him this week, said that Fieger is awake, resting comfortably, and actively engaging in rehabilitation. There's currently no timetable for his return to work. The Federal Reserve has raised the cost of borrowing money again, but they may be about to stop hiking interest rates. Michigan News Network's Murray Feldman has this.
The Federal Reserve says they may be raising borrowing costs just one more time this year. That would probably come either in May or June. Those are the next times the Fed will meet. They say they'll be watching the general economy, the job market, and inflation to determine how much more is needed in order to slow the economy enough to bring our high inflation rate down. The latest interest rate hike is 0.25 percentage point. That will add about $18 more this year to the typical Michigan credit card balance. Murray Feldman, WWJ, News Radio 950.
The Michigan House of Representatives passed legislation last night which would implement safe storage requirements for firearms in order to prevent youth from accessing them. The bill passed in the Democratic-led House by a 61-47 margin, with 5 Republicans voting in favor of the bill. The firearms, under the law, would need to be unloaded and locked with a trigger locking mechanism or stored within a locked storage container. If a minor obtains the firearm and the individual did not comply with the safe storage law, the gun owner could face a misdemeanor charge of up to 93 days in jail or a $500 fine. WSGW News Time, 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here is your WSGW weatherology forecast. For today, mostly cloudy skies with showers mainly through midday. Our temperatures fairly steady in the 40s. Then for tonight, partly cloudy will drop back to a low of 28. For Friday, partial sunshine making a return with highs in the middle part of the 40s. For Friday night, a mixture of rain and snow developing late with lows dropping back to 32, but then changing back over to rain on Saturday as highs warm up to 47. Sunday, we'll see some sunshine making a return with a high of 46 degrees. I'm meteorologist Michael Carroll with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now, it's 44.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. And don't forget, they have a newly expanded showroom and newly expanded product lines, including countertops, everything needed for home decorating. You're going to find it at Westside Decorating Center. We're going to begin this hour by talking about a virus that infects about 13 million people a year, known as the human papillomavirus, HPV. And we're going to talk about what it is, its treatment, prevention. And we're going to do that with the Senior Medical Director and Associate Chief Medical Officer of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. We say good morning to Dr. Marty Walsh. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Art. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for being with us this morning. All right, I think before we get into some of the issues surrounding HPV, we need an overview of what it is. You know, the name doesn't tell us anything. We don't know.
Right.
So what is HPV and how prevalent is it?
So HPV stands for the human papillomavirus, and it's a virus that is primarily transmitted through skin-to-skin contact, and the most often way that it's transmitted is through sexual activity and sexual contact. And just like you said, about 13 million people will be infected with HPV annually, so it's a very prevalent virus, and it can cause genital warts that people are very familiar with, but it also causes several different types of cancer. And I think that's the thing that's most important to note about it, that, you know, it can cause cancer.
I read in your release that there are about 13 million people get infected every year.
Right. Yeah, it's very prevalent. And so 13 million people get new infections annually, but about 42 million people in the United States at any one point in time are infected. And so, you know, they spread that infection very easily.
So before we get to prevention, let's talk about treatment. If you have it, is it treatable?
So I think one thing that's really important is that obviously the types that cause genital warts, that's very treatable. And I would see your physician if you notice any of those symptoms. But the types that cause cervical cancer, most of the time there's no symptoms at all prior to the cancer developing. And so what's most important is that people be screened for the types of cancers that HPV can cause. So, you know, women getting pap smears, women having annual exams to make sure that they have vaginal and vulvar exams done is really important, because most of the time there's no symptoms.
I heard the word women a couple of times. Are we leaving men out of this?
Yeah, it's a great question. So most commonly people associate HPV with the female cancers, but I think it's not widely known, and this is a myth around it, that men can also get cancers that are associated with HPV. And so those include cancers like anal cancer, oral pharyngeal cancer, which are cancers in the mouth and the throat. Those can affect both sexes. And so that's why it's so important that everyone be vaccinated against HPV, because those types of cancers can develop in either sex.
All right, so let's talk about that vaccine. How available is it? Does insurance pay for it? And is it a prevention?
Yeah, it's actually widely available. And insurance does cover the HPV vaccination. And it's recommended that kids, both girls and boys, receive that vaccination between ages 11 and 12. And they recommend it at that time because the vaccination is actually most effective when it's given prior to ever being exposed to HPV. So it's about 99% effective when it's given prior to exposure. So that's why they recommend it in 11 and 12-year-olds, because they haven't been sexually active. I think a lot of parents end up being a little hesitant to give their 11 and 12-year-olds a vaccination against a sexually transmitted infection. However, I think what's so important to note, and what I tell parents when they ask this question is, we all want our kids when they become adults to be in a healthy sexual relationship. And the reality is that they are likely to be exposed to HPV at that time. So by giving them the vaccination at 11 or 12 years old, it will protect them as an adult against that infection.
So I have to ask this question. What would you say to someone who is an anti-vaxxer and doesn't want, and they're out there, we know they're out there. The law requires certain vaccines have to be done for youngsters in school. Others like this one are not. So what do you tell that anti-vaxxer about why they should change their mind?
Yeah, it's such an important question, and there's an increasing number of people that don't want to have vaccinations. But I think there's two things that are really important about this vaccination. First of all, it's cancer prevention, and it's the first time we've ever had a vaccine that is really cancer prevention. I think the second thing is that this vaccination, when people are vaccinated against HPV, we're really hoping to get herd immunity, where there's a decreased risk of infection in anyone who's sexually active, and also, hopefully elimination of that infection. But really, first time we've ever had a vaccine against cancer prevention. I have a pediatrician friend, and I asked her what she says to people who are hesitant to give this to their kids. And she says she asked them the question, if there was a vaccination against breast cancer or against colon cancer, would you get that for your child? And they almost uniformly say yes. And so then she says, this is also cancer prevention.
Is it a kind of a psychological thing? They don't want to admit that their youngster is going to be sexually active at some time?
Right. I think that's part of it. And, one question that we get is, does that increase, make them be sexually active at a younger age? And actually, the studies have shown that it doesn't actually do that. There have been so many different evaluations of the vaccine. We've given over 138 million doses in the United States to date, with really no adverse events other than typical vaccine adverse events like injection site reactions, fever, fatigue, headache, things like that. So very mild reactions, but no severe adverse events at all.
So, you mentioned youngsters several times. Does that mean an 80-year-old doesn't have to worry about it?
Interestingly, the types of cancers caused by HPV generally tend to be in younger populations. So because they're caused by HPV and it's a sexually transmitted infection. And so the vaccine is recommended that anyone 26 years old and younger receive the vaccination. It was actually recently approved also for 27 to 45-year-olds. But they really recommend in 27 to 45-year-olds that you have a shared decision-making visit with your physician, because if you're in a long-term monogamous relationship, you're at really low risk for getting exposed to HPV, and your physician likely wouldn't recommend that you have the vaccination. And so in that situation, it's more of a shared decision-making visit, but it's actually much less common in people who are our age, Art. And so
no, you're not anywhere close to me.
I'm about 45. I'll just say that.
No, you're a little over half of my age. Congratulations. Got a way to go, Doc. Hang on. I got to take a break and we'll come back. We're talking to Dr. Marty Walsh from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan about HPV, and we'll touch on a couple of other things too when we return here on WSGW.
Hello, lovers of camping. Welcome to the RV Show After Party Sale at General RV. This is where every RV comes with an RV show price. Up to 40% off motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. Yes, up to 40% off. You get an RV show price. You get an RV show price. Even you. Someday. March 22nd through the 26th only. And only at General RV. In Birch Run off I-75.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right, and when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Not much change in the tight labor market in the latest reading. There were 191,000 new claims for unemployment benefits last week, down 1,000 from the week before. Continuing claims, those still receiving benefits, rose by 14,000 to 1.6 million. Interest rates are going up around the world to fight inflation despite selective bank turmoil. Yesterday, the Fed raised short-term interest rates by 0.25%. Today, the Bank of England also raised interest rates by 0.25%. The Swiss National Bank raised rates by 0.5%. Ford says its electric vehicle unit will lose $3 billion this year, though it expects the business to make a profit in the next 3 years. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The WSGW Morning Team.
We were having some fun giving away tickets to upcoming July 18th at Jolt Credit Union Event Park in Saginaw. A special tribute to the Beatles. Rain is the group. It's titled Tribute to the Beatles, Songs from Abbey Road and the Rooftop Concert Live. The phone call for our winner turned into something more than just congratulations, you're a winner, when Katie told us this.
I am a big Beatles fan. I went to see Paul McCartney in Detroit back in 2017, and my daughter and I got to go up on stage and meet him.
Whoa! What?
Wait a second. I kissed Paul McCartney.
You kissed him?
Wow, that's more than Pat's ever done.
How did that happen?
Yeah, how'd
you get on stage?
I made a poster that said I was bringing my daughter to the concert. They found me, and they bumped up my tickets to front row center, then pulled us up onto stage to meet him. And he sang happy birthday to my daughter then.
How cool is that?
That is awesome.
What an experience.
Have a good day, everybody. Yep, We're done.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the Morning Team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
News coverage, talk shows on WSGW. The news you trust around the clock.
This is CBS News.
We've heard from President Biden after 2 minutes.
This is WSGW News.
Changes to gun laws in Michigan taking a step forward.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the WSGW Morning Team.
Time change happened over the weekend.
It really messed up my cat's internal clock. And
my dog, too.
And yeah, they didn't wake me up early yesterday, so that was nice.
The Art Lewis Show.
Open phones for the remainder of the hour. We've got them locked and loaded right now. We'll start.
Terry Henney's Farm Show.
I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins.
You ready to tackle this thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, the big story today and could affect all of us.
Sean Hannity.
I think I'm doing the right thing, being a voice of reason.
Tom Sullivan.
Unless you're punished for your mistakes, you're going to keep doing the same thing.
The Ramsey Show.
No, you didn't stick to it. Budgets work if you stick to them.
News coverage, talk shows on WSGW.
And we are back with you here on WSGW, talking to Dr. Marty Walsh from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, where she is the Senior Medical Director and Associate Chief Medical Officer, talking about HPV, the human papillomavirus, affecting 13 million people. But I noticed on the press release that came out from your company, Doctor, that there are a lot of myths about HPV. So let's talk about a few of those. And the first one I would ask is, if you're not sexually active, why bother? Is it a myth that you don't need it if you're not sexually active because you won't catch it?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And one of the reasons that, so yes, but the first answer is yes, we recommend it in anyone. And one of the reasons that we do is because it's actually most effective when you get the vaccination before you're ever exposed to the virus. And so that's why they recommend giving it at a younger age. They also, the vaccination series is only a 2-series vaccination when it's given under 15 years old. After 15 years old, it's a 3-series vaccination. So it's, you have to have one more shot if you're given it at an older age, because of some people have been exposed to the virus at that point in time for the efficacy. But the vaccine, when it's given before sexual activity, is actually 99% effective. One of the most effective vaccines that we have on the market today.
Another myth: causes cervical cancer.
So it does cause cervical cancer, and the majority of cervical cancers, yes. So that one isn't a myth. It also causes vaginal and vulvar cancers in women, but it causes other types of cancers, as we talked about, in both sexes, of both anal cancers, oropharyngeal cancers. Those are mouth and throat cancers, but it does cause the great majority of cervical cancers.
What about fertility? I mean, if you're a woman, obviously this is a great concern.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're childbirth age.
Right. So we talked a little bit about the fact that they've been following these vaccines for a long time. So, over 138 million doses have been given in the United States and 210 million doses internationally. And they follow these vaccines very closely. I am a practicing OBGYN physician, and so I get asked this question fairly regularly. And what they found is that the vaccine doesn't cause infertility issues in either men or women. One thing that I like to tell people, though, is that if you do get cervical cancer or cervical precancers that are also caused by HPV, that the treatment for those conditions actually can cause you to need, a hysterectomy, which would cause infertility, or some of the other treatments can cause it to be difficult for you to carry a pregnancy to term. So really, I consider the HPV vaccination as protective for your fertility.
Why now? And here's why I asked this question. It seems to me that we didn't hear of HPV until maybe, 4 or 5 years ago, where it became very popular to talk about it and the vaccine became prevalent. Why the lag in coming up with a prevention for this disease, which has been around for a long time?
Yeah, it's been around for a long time, and the vaccine has actually been available now for over 15 years. But I think what's important to note is that HPV is becoming more prevalent. And what we're seeing is, the mouth and throat cancers that we talked about. The most common reason people used to get those was from smoking. Now, the most common reason that people get mouth and throat cancers is because of HPV, and it's so prevalent. And so we're seeing increases in those types of cancers because of HPV. And as we see those increases in cancers, it's so important to get this vaccination. The other thing that I would say is, some of the types of cancers that we're talking about, like cervical cancer, vaginal cancer, vulvar cancers, anal cancers, they're almost entirely preventable, either by getting the vaccination or having your screenings done. And so, it's really sad to me when someone gets diagnosed with one of these cancers, because they are preventable.
The thing with cancer, too, is in the last, couple of decades anyway, we've made tremendous progress in treating cancers. Have we made that kind of progress treating the cancers related to HPV?
I think there's always a lot of progress, thankfully, in the oncology or cancer treatment space. The reality is that many of the treatments are very similar to the treatments that we've had for several years. And I think the biggest strategy that we should have is prevention. That helps more than anything else.
So The vaccine is available, readily available. Your pharmacist, your doctor. I assume, terrible word, but I assume that before you do anything, you should sit down with your general practitioner. Is that always the first step in any of this?
I agree, especially, obviously it's mostly pediatricians giving this immunization, and it's recommended on that schedule to give between 11 and 12 years old. But, obviously it's really important to have a conversation with your physician. And just as we talked about earlier, even in patients 45 and younger, it's important to have that conversation about whether or not the HPV vaccination is right for you.
Not necessarily based on your sexual activity.
Exactly. Yep.
So everyone should get it.
Everyone. And like we talked about earlier.
At least with that age group.
Yep, at least with that age group. And like we talked about earlier, our goal with the HPV vaccination is herd immunity. The more people that get vaccinated, the less likely you are to contract that infection with sexual activity. So that's really important.
Does it conflict with any other vaccines?
It doesn't. So actually, when they recommend that schedule, it's given with other vaccines at the same time. And so it doesn't conflict. You can have it with any other vaccine.
Out of curiosity, doesn't relate necessarily to the disease, but during the pandemic with COVID, did we see an increase in HPV? Or people stuck at home and so forth?
I have to say that I don't know if we saw an increase in HPV. One thing that we did see is we saw a decrease in vaccinations, and we also saw a decrease in cancer screenings. So that people weren't going in for their Pap smears, or they weren't going in for their mammograms and things like that. And so, by not doing those things, by not getting vaccinated and not getting your appropriate screenings, then, that increases that risk of HPV developing and not going away. So we weren't doing the prevention strategies during the pandemic.
All right, I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming into another topic just for the fun of it. As an OBGYN, how are we doing combating fetal deaths and newborn deaths? That was been a problem for a long time, particularly in certain areas.
Yeah, I think that's a really important question, and they've come up with a lot of perinatal quality collaboratives throughout the state of Michigan. And what these collaboratives do is they look at all maternal deaths and they look at all neonatal deaths and look at how to prevent them. And they look at it from a community perspective. So they pull in OBGYN physicians, they pull in pediatricians, they pull in community members and community organizations, because so often these types of things that happen are because of, systemic issues within the community and the medical community as well. And so as they look at those deaths together, they're really kind of drilling down into what caused them. And I think it's quality improvement initiatives like that are going to help us to address those issues.
Okay, last question. Obviously, the medical field has become an important field, particularly for women. More and more women, not only in direct medical treatment, but in administration. We have 2 hospital presidents sitting right here in Saginaw, both females at Covenant and Ascension. What do you tell a young girl why they should consider going into medicine? What drew Marty Walsh into medicine?
I think it's changed over time, but what initially drove me into medicine was that I was very intrigued with the idea of just being able to help people. And I know that sounds, silly, and most people would say that.
It's a common answer, though.
Yeah, it's a common answer. And, now what's driven me more into the administrative role, because I love being a doctor and I am still a practicing physician. What drew me more into the administrative role was to be able to expand that into helping as many people as I potentially could throughout the state of Michigan. And my role at Blue Cross Blue Shield allows me to do that. And I felt very fulfilled, and I feel like I love my job every day. And so that's what I would tell a young person. Like, this is a great field to go into because you feel personally fulfilled, but you also feel like you're making a difference.
Would you tell them to go into OBGYN in this day and age?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I would. I love the idea of women caring for women, right?
Yeah, good. My daughter-in-law is an oncology nurse, but she's doing more administrative work now. And one thing that I hear from all administrators who were doctors or are doctors is they miss the patient interaction. You sit in an office and push paper. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. It's one of the reasons why I feel so lucky to get to do both. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Walsh, listen, thank you very much for spending some time with us this morning. I hope we can do it again.
Thanks so much, Art. It was so nice to be on. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day.
You
Bye-bye
too.
now. Dr. Marty Walsh from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, where she is Senior Medical Director and Associate Chief Medical Officer of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and talking about the HPV vaccine. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's open phones for the remainder of the hour, 989-752-6111.
Steve, what is that?
My new car.
It looks expensive.
Honey, that's why I'm taking it to Paintbull for rust proofing, graphene coating, maybe even some paint film.
Paintbull? You'll find any reason to go to Paintbull.
Well, I want this car to last and to look good, so I look good driving it.
You mean so I look good driving it?
What?
Gotta go!
Keep your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest-rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
Back with you. Here are the Art Lewis Show open phones for the remainder of the hour. And let's go to those phones now. We have Mike in Thomas Township. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art. Yeah, there's a couple of things we wanted to talk about. I wanted to call in when you were doing your electric car bit, so I'll talk about that
That's
first.
all right.
But
Yeah.
my last 3 cars I've had have been hybrids, and I'm really pleased with them. And that seems like that would be a much more practical way to go for people to get into electric cars, is to go with hybrid. Kind of best of both worlds.
Well, that's I don't know if you heard what I said the last hour too.
Yeah.
My ideal solution is a car with a good battery range, but it has a backup little generator on it that if I needed it, I could start it up and get me off the road or get me where I want to go, and
that's kind of like a hybrid, but it's, in mine, it just does it automatically.
Yeah. Well, I'd want it to do automatically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, then that's a hybrid. And then did you hear that Corvette has a E-Ray? It's a new mid-engine with an electric motor up in front, and then of course the mid-engine, and it's putting over 1,000 horsepower out.
Yeah.
And kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of cool. What are you gonna do with it? It's kind of cool, but what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, I know. Well, I know it's a prestige car, but you're right.
Exactly.
I mean, you could on our roads the way they are in Michigan, you can't run it. But anyway, what I really called about was, I don't know if you heard about what Gretchen Whitmer did. She's got a deal going for a battery plant in Big Rapids.
Ford. Talk about the Ford plant.
Well, it's an electric battery plant, and it's Chinese.
Oh,
she made a deal at $315 million, something like that. They're given to and here's the stipulation in the contract, that it has to be run by Chinese nationals, in other words, the Communist Party, and then it has to be manned by Chinese. So you're not going to get any people from Michigan going into that plant
I hadn't seen that.
and working. I just heard it on the news last night.
Chinese ownership is not new, because all you have to do is look down the street next year.
Oh yeah, no, that's for sure.
But
I know that.
I don't know about the Chinese nationals running it. I haven't seen that. I'll have to look.
Well, that was one of the stipulations. So it was on Fox last night. The first time I heard about it. And
I would have told them to take a hike, but that's me.
Well, yeah, but I have no idea, because we're not getting anything for it in Michigan other than, and then the other, one of the causes was that the college there has to provide housing for, I don't remember the number of how many
have
people.
To check. I don't know.
But that was a weird situation. I mean,
all right, I will look, see what I can find out.
Yeah, I'm opposed to the Chinese taking over our country.
All right, good enough.
Take care, my friend.
Yep, bye now. And let's chat with Russ in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Well, at first I was disturbed that we were no longer going to require third graders read to be promoted to fourth grade.
Yeah.
And then yesterday in the news, we have something new. They want to get rid of the letter grade, and they want to get rid of the annual report on the schools doing the worst in Michigan, the districts doing the worst in Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'm not in favor of either of those.
I'm not in favor of any of that. What the hell is going on? Is it no longer important that these kids be educated?
I listen, I don't know the answer to that question. I think if you can read at the third grade level, then you move on to the fourth grade.
Absolutely.
If you can't, then you need remedial education,
And and for the benefit of your own self.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I mean, you look at the kid that just went to the Supreme Court because they passed him along without educating them.
Yeah, well, that was a special education.
It was, but it was still it was the same situation.
Yeah,
though.
it was.
We're going to pass you along.
Yeah,
and you don't need to be educated.
Well, you know what? They've tried this before and it didn't work.
And
Hopefully,
it's horrible.
Yeah, it's not going to work this time either. And as far as school districts not being rated, that's nonsense. I want to know how my school district's doing.
Absolutely. I want to know top to bottom who's doing the best and who's doing the worst.
What happened to
and
transparency
and
in
what
government?
do we need to do to...
Yeah. What happened to transparency? I don't know.
Oh, well.
I know what happened. The lens fogged up. You can't see
consequences.
You can't see through the lens now.
Well, there's no checks and balance. Michigan is a solid blue state.
Well, that's that in and of itself, it's happened before. It'll happen again. It'll be a red state at some point in time. That's the electorate, and that's the fickleness
It's never
of the
been like
electorate.
this before. They have it all. They have
Well, that's so. If you don't like it, it'll change.
Well,
Eventually,
we'll see.
it will change. People get fed up.
Okay.
All right, Russ.
You have a great day.
You too. Bye now.
Bye.
Listen, if you are not satisfied with the leadership in place, then you vote against that leadership. And if you are satisfied, you vote for them. And understand, in the case of the Democrats in the state of Michigan, for now, people apparently were dissatisfied with the GOP control because they changed it. And it also changed. And part of the reason it changed was because of the way redistricting was done with the redistricting commission. Now, obviously, if you were on the losing end of that redistricting, you are screaming bloody murder. And if you were on the winning side of that redistricting, you're going, yay, cheer me on. And that's the way it works, folks. We, the people, decided we wanted to change the way districts are drawn and got rid of gerrymandering. Well, now you have the results. If you don't like them, sorry, but we, the people, voted for it. So we only can look at ourselves when it comes time to evaluate how well it works. All right, let me take a break here, and we'll come back and get to more calls. A 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years and even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Paid for by government.com.
The 1878 to 1921 Morgan silver dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It's been 100 years since the last Morgan silver dollar coin was struck for circulation. And now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government struck Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right. You can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan silver dollar coins, all in very good collector condition with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-895-7267 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan silver dollars by the pound, struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack valued at over $25, free with every order. Call 1-800-895-7267 now to secure your full pound bag of Morgan silver dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-895-7267. That's 1-800-895-7267.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. We'll get back to our phones. Errol is in Saginaw. Errol, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
All
I'm
right.
going to give you a different topic, and this involves Saginaw Township. And in May, the 1st of May, first part of May, they think they need 200, I don't know how many $1 million.
242.
From the tax. Yeah. Oh, you already have it, huh? Good. I want to know what they've been drinking in their orange juice to think that the taxpayers want to fork out that amount of money off their taxes or off their property assessments and everything.
Well, there
that
is
we
a
can pay to have all the schools rebuilt.
there is a group of citizens who are in your camp. I got some
A lot of
information.
them.
Got some information from them. We will be tackling that in the near future.
You are going to have that gentleman out there.
However, I will say this, mainly because I was surprised once before. I was surprised when the city of Saginaw school system went for $100 million bond issue, and I said, "Oh, there's no way that's going to happen."
Thank
And
yes,
it passed,
I agree
and
with you.
it passed by 60% or more.
Yeah, well,
So I'm not
I have anything to
discounting
do
the
with it.
fact that Saginaw Township residents may just go along with this. I don't know, but we will do a show or two on it.
I certainly hope so. Maybe everyone in the township's got a lot of money that they don't know what to do with, and they think, well, we'll put it in all that schools. So they can't even fix the pool over on Shattuck. So we'll talk to you later, sir.
All right.
See you later.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
And we'll talk to Mark. Mark, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, a couple of things regarding the bridge. I know I've got over the hurdle about the fee to get it back and forth,
Yeah.
but I'm past that. But it's two things cross my mind. One is I'm giving them data, history on me, information, and I'm just wondering if our commissioners thought about saying, hey, we don't want you to sell that data. That's one. And then the other one is, whenever we have special events downtown, I think the turnstile ought to be free spinning. The reason being is I don't want to be a guest in the town for some event, the fireworks, the pig gig. I guess they're going to do that again, some of the concerts. And I wouldn't want to be that individual that went across the bridge and then a week later or 2 weeks later, I get a little, thank you very much, but give me some money. And so, I don't know if our city leaders thought about that aspect.
Well, remember this, there's an alternative. If you have an event downtown, there's always Veterans Bridge and Lafayette Bridge. And I think for events, that's what you're going to find is they're going to be pretty well congested because a lot of people will use them. Listen, and they've pushed the toll back now to 2024, if I'm right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's going to be, it's going to take time to find out just how wise a move it all was. And the usage will prove that. Obviously, the folks in the Bridge Partnership think that it's going to work out. There have been studies, because I asked Dana Muscat about this. There have been studies of other communities that have had like situations where they were worried that everybody would use the other bridges and nobody would use the toll bridge. And it turns out that about 10% of the normal traffic diverted, the rest still use the bridge. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's all going to be measured by the dollars that Bridge Partners gets.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't want to be in a losing position either.
No, and I would not, for they took it on and we agreed to it, so I wouldn't begrudge them for trying to make a buck. But I just think that, for some of those events, major events downtown,
I hear you.
Be nice, be welcoming,
Be a player.
And I know what you're saying about taking the other bridge, but you know what, Art, for now the Independence is turned down, and boy, you ought to see the traffic,
Yep. Well,
rerouting.
I understand that. But that's gonna, that'll resolve itself after they've done rebuilding it. But the bottom line is the public will make the decision in the long run. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Good enough.
Thank you,
Dave. Thanks for calling,
All right,
Mark.
right
Appreciate it. Mark up in Bay City. We appreciate his call this morning. And that's pretty much going to do it for this edition of the Art Lewis Show on this Thursday. We'll take a break. We'll come back and tell you about Focus. All of that ahead.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Now through April 10th, you can save big with generous rebates on energy-efficient shades that help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings event going on now. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth is celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
Dream it, book it, golf it. This season, head to the Island Resort and Casino, your Midwest golf destination, with 2 top-ranked courses in 2022. Sweetgrass, ranked number 10, and Sage Run, ranked number 20. Dramatically different, but equally exceptional. Visit islandresortgolf.com for package details. To book your package, call 877-ISL-GREEN. Stop dreaming of great golf. Start playing it at the Island. Book today for best availability.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
The WSGW Morning Team.
WSW Online poll is Detroit Tigers baseball 2023 predictions for the 56th year. WSGW, your home for the Tigers. Last year, disappointing. Key regulars falling short of expectations, numerous injuries. Heading into this season, some signings of new players, but no big free agent signings. Tigers are counting on players to perform, to stay healthy, and who knows, maybe Miguel Cabrera has his spectacular final season and sparks the team. Poll question for you. How do you predict the Tigers will finish 2023? Will the Tigers finish below 500, 500 or better, but not make the playoffs? Or will the Tigers make the playoffs? 3 options for you. Choose the one that fits your prediction, please. Tigers baseball all season long on WSGW. Head to the online poll box by going to WSGW.com and scrolling down the homepage and vote that way.
Do you know how you will vote?
I'm an optimist, but I need a couple more days.
Okay.
Your morning team, Charlie, Denise, and Pat. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. The Ramsey Show. Weeknights at 10 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And actually, Ramsey's on at 9 now, from 9 to midnight. He follows Tom Sullivan from 6 to 9. That'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Thanks for joining us. We're going to move over now for the news, and then we will have Focus, and we will complete our start yesterday. We talked about Rocket Grab Plus. We'll go through the store and tell you what's there for you to save 50% on. All of that is ahead right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. The CEO of TikTok confronts pressure from Congress.
The bottom line is this: American data stored on American soil by an American company, overseen by American personnel.
Shuji Chu, responding to critics who've called for a ban, citing national security. TikTok is a Chinese company. Republican Kathy McMorris Rogers chairs the House committee.
We do not trust TikTok will ever embrace American values for freedom, human rights, and innovation. TikTok has repeatedly chosen the path for more control and more manipulation. Your platform should be banned.
There's fresh CBS News polling on TikTok and companies like it.
There is bipartisan support for the U.S. government placing at least some rules and restrictions on what social media companies can do with their users' personal data, including nearly 4 in 10 Republicans and Democrats who say there should be a lot of restrictions in place.
Our Deputy Director of Surveys, Jennifer DePinto. The 17-year-old suspect in the shooting of 2 administrators at his Denver high school was found dead in a wooded area. Sheriff Tom McGraw says it should be a relief to residents who waited through an hours-long manhunt.
They should feel relieved that we came up here and solved the problem and that we don't have to wait around the next few days on something like this.
One of the wounded adults is still in the hospital in serious condition. The other released after treatment. In the Mar-a-Lago classified documents investigation, a judge says Trump lawyer Evan Corcoran has to turn over documents and testify. Legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
There is a crime fraud exception to attorney-client privilege under the law. Essentially, an attorney can't rely on the privilege and retain his or her silence or withhold potential evidence if he or she has participated in a crime or committed fraud.
The grand jury in the New York Trump case is meeting today, but on a different matter, and won't resume work till Monday. As we hear from CBS's Cammie McCormick, there's pushback from a top Russian today over that international court issuing an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin.
In an interview with Russian journalist Dmitry Medvedev said any attempt to arrest Putin would amount to a declaration of war. The former president and now member of Putin's Security Council said that could lead to a nuclear conflict. And he said relations between Moscow and the West are probably at their worst point ever.
The Anti-Defamation League reports more than 3,500 anti-Semitic incidents in 2022, the highest number on record since they began keeping track in 1979. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 459 points. This is CBS News.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Steve, what is that?
My new car.
It looks expensive.
Honey, that's why I'm taking it to Paintbull for rust proofing, graphene coating, maybe even some paint film.
Paintbull? You'll find any reason to go to Paintbull.
Well, I want this car to last and to look good, so I look good driving it.
You mean so I look good driving it?
What?
Oh, gotta go.
Keep your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. Quick and easy. And soon, you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Honey, come here, quick.
What is it?
Shh, check it out. All these highly rated wines are under $20. Total Wine must have made a mistake.
Nope, they always have the lowest prices. Oh, remember that amazing rosé your sister brought over last week? See, it's right here.
Whoa, that's a low price. I mean, whoa, that's a low price.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 44 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A Flint man is charged with multiple felonies in federal court for his alleged role in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. 20-year-old Isaac Thomas is accused of swinging a flagpole at Capitol police officers and striking one of them. Thomas, arrested January 26 this year, initially told the judge he was peacefully protesting and exercising his First Amendment rights. However, police say a video of the riot taken by his girlfriend, 22-year-old Christina Legros of Beaverton, shows Thomas swinging a flagpole at police, trying to prevent the group from entering. Thomas is charged with disorderly conduct and physical violence. Legros is also charged with misdemeanors, including entering or remaining on restricted grounds without lawful authority to do so and engaging in disruptive conduct on restricted grounds. Bay City Public Schools is one of many school districts with a vaping problem. With the rise in popularity of vaping devices disguised to look like ordinary objects like computer flash drives, schools are seeing more students vaping on school grounds. School officials say vaping products produce almost no smell, making it difficult to detect, especially in restrooms. Bay City schools are poised to begin installing vape detectors to combat the issue. The detectors can detect vapor from the devices, plus cigarette and other drug-related smoke. Then the detectors will alert school officials. They will be partly funded from money rewarded to the school from a class action lawsuit against e-cigarette company Juul. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Retirement is more than a newly discovered free time. It's a time to reflect on how you'll be remembered and your legacy. It's important to make proper arrangements now. Tune in to WSGW every Sunday at 8 a.m. to your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors in Midland. Learn how to structure your retirement savings to increase the value of your estate and help leave the legacy you want. Plus, call Great Lakes Investment Advisors today, and they will include a complimentary Legacy Maximizer at 989-835-7203. That's 989-835-7203. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A man was arrested for carrying a knife onto the Michigan State University campus. Michigan News Source's Tim Knight has the story.
Michigan State University police announced that yesterday a man was arrested after he was seen carrying a knife on MSU campus. An alert went out around 12:58 p.m. that someone was seen with a knife on or near campus. At 1:16, a social media release from authorities said the man was seen in the downtown East Lansing area and walking onto campus. At 1:22 p.m., MSU police released that the man was arrested in downtown East Lansing and that there was no longer a threat to people in the area. For Michigan News Source, I'm Tim Ellis.
Officials have declared a public health emergency at an overcrowded Detroit area jail for kids, a step that could lead to improved staffing and more services. Wayne County Executive Warren Evans says extraordinary action is necessary. He says he's been pleading with Governor Gretchen Whitmer's administration to help solve the problem. A statewide shortage of residential facilities mean kids who have already appeared in court remain stuck in the county juvenile lockup. Police are investigating allegations a 12-year-old boy was sexually assaulted by other children. He was released to his family last week. The state said it is adding beds at state-run sites in northern Michigan and setting aside $3 million to a contractor to add beds in Highland Park. U.S. Senator Gary Peters finds continued shortages of medications in the United States, which pose a significant health and national security risk. Peters held a hearing Wednesday to examine the report.
We're seeing more drug shortages of sometimes very common drugs that are needed in hospitals for everyday procedures. And yet these shortages continue to occur and requires hospitals to find alternatives because they still need to provide medication for their patients, but the alternatives often are more expensive and less effective.
Peters says we're too reliant on getting medications from other countries and suggests investing in domestic advanced manufacturing capabilities for critical generic drugs, which are often in short supply. He also says the FDA should take steps to ensure its supply chain data can be used to monitor supply chain vulnerabilities. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here is your WSGW weatherology forecast. For today, mostly cloudy skies with showers mainly through midday. Our temperatures fairly steady in the 40s. Then for tonight, partly cloudy will drop back to a low of 28. For Friday, partial sunshine making a return with highs in the middle part of the 40s. For Friday night, a mixture of rain and snow developing late with lows dropping back to 32, but then changing back over to rain on Saturday as highs warm up to 47. Sunday, we'll see some sunshine making a return with a high of 46 degrees. I'm meteorologist Michael Carroll with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now it's 42.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
Yes, indeed, RoofMax. A safe, affordable, easy alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. You'll find them online at getroofmax.com, and that's RoofMax with 2 X's. Or you can call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax. Give them a call. Find out about this great service. All right, today on Focus, we're going to focus on rocketgrabplus.com. For those of you who have never been on rocketgrabplus.com, you should do so. And you should sign up. It's a very easy form. You just put in your basic information they ask for, none of which, by the way, is a credit card. You do not pay to be on rocketgrabplus.com as a member. And every week you'll get notification of the new deals on rocketgrabplus.com where you save at least 50%. The only time it costs you anything is if you decide to buy one of the deals. And everything is done electronically. You don't have to worry about your mail or anything else. Download the certificate and you're off and running. It's that easy. It really is that easy. So let me give you an idea of some of the things that you will find right now in the Rocket Grab Plus store. We begin with this week's deal, which is a pizza deal. It is half off a $20 certificate. You pay only $10 for Pizza Dude in Pinconning, a family-owned business, and their goal is to provide top-quality meals at a reasonable price, which is always nice. Reasonable prices are good. And they operate their restaurants with integrity and respect, and they do it in a personal way. Their mission is to combine gourmet flavors with the perfect balance of indulgence and nutrition so guests can enjoy Pizza Dude in a way that is their mood and style of living, really. And again, it is a $20 gift certificate for which you pay $10, half off at Pizza Dude in Pinconning. And by the way, they have a lot more than just pizza. Here's one of my favorites, the Aerial Park in Frankenmuth. Yeah, I know it's not time yet. Well, it's going to be time fairly soon that the aerial park will open. And when they do, you can buy a $43 certificate for $21.50. It's half off an adventure for one person at the Frankenmuth Aerial Park for a 2-hour session. So if you want to do it with someone, you buy 2 certificates. But again, you're saving half off. So for the price of one, that $43, you end up with 2 certificates because they're only $21.50 each. And the Frankenmuth Aerial Park, welcomes you to the trees. With this admission, you'll be able to complete anywhere from 2 to 4 courses of rope courses and swinging and, of course, zip lines. It's all there for you at Frankenmuth Aerial Park. And what a great deal and what a fun place to take the family sometime and enjoy all the activities, beginner or advanced. They have something for everyone. All right, we told you about one pizza deal, so let's see if we have another pizza deal here. And this is PJ's Pizzeria in Pinconning. $20 gift certificate. Again, for only $10. Great deals. And if you are up in the Pinconning area or even close, these are deals that you want to take advantage of. Here is a trip, and this particular trip I'm going to be involved with, so I'm told. I'm going to be hosting this trip. It's a trip to Firekeepers Casino on a limo bus from Mid-Michigan Limo. It's a $100 value for $50, and it's going to happen on Sunday, April 23rd. We will leave our Alpha Media location here in Saginaw at 10 o'clock in the morning, get to Firekeepers Casino and Resort at noon. We'll stay there for 4 hours and then arrive back at Alpha Media Saginaw at 6 p.m. Guests with a rewards card can step off the bus and begin getting their Vegas-style fun immediately. Others without rewards cards will be signed up instantly, and your free play will be loaded. And speaking of that free pay, if we have more than 25 guests, it'll be $20 in free slot play and $5 in points. If it's 15 to 24 guests, it'll be $15 in free slot play. But either way, you're getting free slot play. So bring your rewards card with you. And you must be at least 21 years of age. And you will ride on one of these fabulous Mid-Michigan limo buses down to Firekeepers Casino. And I think that's down in the Battle Creek area. It takes about 2 hours to get there. So we should have a great Sunday. And again, as I mentioned, I will be hosting that. A $100 value for only $50 on RocketGrabPlus.com. All right, let's see. Mid-Michigan garage door. Oh, yeah. You know those garage doors that hang there? Every now and then they need a tune-up. Well, here's 50% off a garage door tune-up from Mid-Michigan Garage Door. A $100 value. Again, it's only $50, half price. And the tune-up includes, and this is residential only, a maximum door size of 8 feet tall. Full lubrication of the door includes the rollers, the hinges, the bearings, the springs, and the opener drive gear. They'll adjust the spring tension and the opener chain belt. It includes full door and opener inspection for possible future issues, and you should live within 50 miles of their Midland office. Again, it is a garage door tune-up from Mid-Michigan Garage Door, a $100 value, yours for only $50. All right, let's take a break. Come back, and we'll have some more deals for you from Rocket Grab Plus.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, The weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to a business of your choice. It's the WSGW Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Enter online at WSGW.com. When you enter, you choose the business you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you're drawn as the winner. Businesses include Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Bay Landscaping, M&R Garage Door and Openers, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Midland Sand Company, The Tech Laboratory, All Seasons Heating and Cooling, Delta Door Sales, Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, Roof Max, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Cranes L&M Appliance, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Westside Decorating Center, Big Ick Nursery and Garden Center, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, Bonifant Cabinetry, Woolfiles Ace Hardware. The Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Deadline to enter is March 24th. Enter online at WSGW.com.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
Here on WSGW, we continue on as we look at what's in the Rocket Grab Plus store for you. Bell's Barkery and Boutique. Here is a $25 gift certificate for $12.50. Bell's Barkery and Boutique is a trend-setting online store offering first-rate products and exceptional customer service to shoppers from the comfort of their own home. They're a business made up of innovators and forward thinkers with the drive and wherewithal to constantly update and improve the online shopping experience. Their pet treats are all natural. Bell's Barkery and Boutique is a licensed business through the state of Michigan. Their online store has been synonymous with quality, and they ensure a continuous variety of fantastic merchandise, good for any budget. Check them out. Bell's Barkery and Boutique, $25 gift certificate. Again, it only costs you $12.50. Go to rocketgrabplus.com. Read all the details. How about a $50 gift certificate for $25 to Branham's Jewelry in East Tawas and West Branch? And this is again a half-price gift certificate. You save $25 because it's a $50 certificate. It only costs you $25. They've been sharing your love stories since 1959. In fact, some of their current customers represent the third and fourth generation of families that have been serviced by Branham's Jewelry. Branham's first priority is to be a respected member of the communities they serve by providing services and products that meet the standards of their valued customers. Check them out. Branham's Jewelry, a $50 gift certificate, yours for only $25. That is a good deal. We have another casino trip for you. This one I will not be on. This is a $50 trip for only a $100 trip for only $50 to Turtle Creek Casino on a limo bus from Mid-Michigan Limo. And the package includes $15 in slot play, a $5 food credit. Guests are automatically earning additional e-credits as they accumulate points. And those points are worth something. 75 points worth $5. First 150 points worth $5, and the first 225 points worth $5. And the limo bus provided by Mid-Michigan Limo. And let me find the date. This is March 31st, so it's coming up this coming week to Mid-Michigan Limousine, a bus trip to Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel, a $100 trip for only $50. So if you're available March 31st, there's a good opportunity for you right there. 50% off a 1-year membership at Sung-Ni Fit Club in Saginaw. This is a $959 value for $480. It is a full year's membership for someone who has been inactive for at least a year or more. And there are top fitness classes and amenities, famous fitness classes and programs packed with the club's amenities. Enjoy an energetic atmosphere at Sung-Ni and check out your fitness goals one by one. And it is really a unique place to have that personal fitness touch. Again, this is a 1-year membership to Sung-Ni. $959, yours for only $480. If you want to get fit, there is a place to do it. Sung-Ni. One of the most popular sports today is axe throwing, believe it or not. And you will find a couple of axe throwing things in Rocket Grab Plus. This one, 50% off 1 hour of axe throwing for a group of 4. Only costs you $40. It's an $80 certificate at the Bearded Axe. There are many more things on rocketgrabplus.com. Time has expired, so I can't tell you about them, but go on rocketgrabplus.com and look over the entire list and see what might tickle your fancy. We'll take a break, come back, and close out.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Now through April 10th, you can save big with generous rebates on